Welcome to the Coop with Kit. My name is Kit Hoover, and I have been lucky enough in my 30 years in this business to interview some of the most iconic, badass women out there. We all know that girlfriends give the best advice, and they're all coming to the Coop. We're talking career, marriage, kids, sex, aging, all of it. I truly believe we are just hitting our stride. All right, my chickens, let's get into it. Today in the Coop, we carve through life lessons with the legendary Lindsey Vonn. She's the first American woman to win Olympic gold in downhill skiing. She has 82 World Cup wins, 82, and 2 world championships, and many more that I know I'm not even mentioning. But today, we were surprised to see where our conversation led. We, of course, wanted to get in the head of a woman whose happy place is going Mach 10, 85 miles an hour down an icy mountain. She has always said that pressure is a privilege, and no one has lived this more. Lindsey's been outspoken in her mental health journey, all the ups and downs. And while we touch on this, the conversation really becomes a beautiful love letter to her true mentor, her mom, who recently passed away. Lindsey opens up about her late mother's strength and how it continues to shape her outlook on life. We talk about her retirement from skiing and how she's feeling now in a pain-free, new, bionic body. This conversation, y'all, is all about grit, mental toughness, and how she has found balance and happiness through all of life's highs and lows. She is simply fearless. Here is Lindsey Vonn. We're recording. Okay.
Hi.
Hello, my Lindsey Vonn.
How are you, Kit?
I haven't seen you since Paris. Should we laugh with our listeners about what we were up to, our shenanigans?
Yes, we should. I mean, that was really fun. That was probably one of the funnest things I did in Paris. Was squat Kit.
I just want to brag about my badass friend. Like, you were so much fun. We were helicoptering like a little kid. I was on your back. We were doing squats. What was your favorite part of Paris?
I think that just the energy was so amazing. I saw so many people, including yourself, that were just so energized by the games and having it be in such an amazing city. And obviously the athletic stories and achievements were incredible. And I think the combination of all of those things made it this kind of re-energized modern Olympics that everyone's been waiting for.
Lindsey showed up to opening ceremonies under the Eiffel Tower in the most spectacular outfit, and tell everybody about your purse.
Well, it's Tom Brown's dog, and he has his own dog line, which is it was a purse. It was Hector. Hector came to his first Olympics in the form of a purse.
Oh, speaking of dogs, I know your dog is undergoing chemotherapy. How is he?
He's great. Thank you for asking. Leo. Every Friday he's got his chemo, and he is such a trooper and fighting so hard. And all of his big lymph nodes are all down. So we're pretty much in remission. It's like a 25-week process, which is a lot, but he's always smiling. He's always happy.
Always. He's your boy. He's your boy. And there's something in his eyes, Lindsey, that I just love when you post. He sees you. I feel like he's looking at you or me when you post him. Do you know what I mean?
He really does. He's very emotional. He's very emotional with his eyes. And you know, when I adopted him, he had been hit by a car and he had a bad leg. And I actually was about to go in for my second ACL surgery, and I was going to miss the Sochi Olympics. And he and I just were two peas in a pod. I mean, he's 12 years old. He's like me. It's like, you know, he won't go down. He's a fighter. So I'm trying to hang on to every moment that I can with him.
Okay. We start the Coop, every Coop, with one word to describe where you are in your life right now.
I think just happy. I'm very happy. I'm balanced. I'm working hard. I'm physically feeling so much better, and everything is going so well that I can't not be happy.
Where are you finding that balance? Where is it coming from?
I think it's from everything. You know, I have a good support system. I know there's been a lot of bumps in the road with, you know, my dog and my mom, and there's just been so many things the last couple of years. I feel like things are just settled. You know, my body finally feels good. I had my knee replacement, my partial replacement, and I feel so much better physically. And I think that's lightened my spirits a lot. I mean, I'm always a pretty positive person, but when you're not in constant pain, usually helps life a lot. I'm sleeping really well. I'm taking care of myself. I'm eating well, I'm working out hard.
You can see it, you can feel it. And what's so cool, why I really want to join the Coop, is for you to be this unbelievable gold medal athlete that does everything at the highest standard and extremes. And then you add all of life that happens with losing your mom and your dog getting sick. To use the word happy right now, we're going to find out how you got there, Lindsey. This is what I want to share with our people. I was thinking about how you talk about you visualize all your races before you did them. What are you currently visualizing for yourself?
I'm visualizing a lot of things. I think all the things I want to do now with my healthy body. I've been pretty limited in things that I can do. And I've always, been adventurous. And I think everyone from Instagram, you can see that I'm kind of nuts. I think though, as much as I like to look ahead and visualize the future, I have a much different perspective on life. And I'm really trying to be in the moment and appreciate every second that I have and never take anything for granted. And no matter how bad my day is, someone always has it worse. So I just always try to keep things in that perspective through that lens. And that helps me every day.
Was that cultivated throughout the years, or have you always had that in you?
There's certain skills that I learned over the course of my career that I didn't always have, but I would say the majority of like my grit and determination and passion and how I approach things, that's kind of always been just me. When I met Peekaboo Street when I was 9 years old.
Love Peekaboo, Sun Valley.
I know, she's so awesome. And I came home and I made a 10-year plan with my dad. Like I've always been a little OCD. Like I like to plan. I like to be organized. I know where I want to go. I know how I'm going to get there. All of those things. I think sometimes that doesn't help me. I need to just relax and like take things as they come. But most of my skills that I've had, I'd say, are just something that have always been there. And I just cultivated them in a way that's been beneficial for my skiing career.
You always used to say life's not fun without taking risk. What are you thinking about risking now? What is something scary you're going to do?
There's really nothing that's as risky as ski racing. So I'm kind of looking for things that are more risky. I've been doing a lot more investing lately, and I advise a few sports funds. And
Are you good at investing?
Most of my investments are like long term. So I'll tell you in 10 years how that pans out. I'd say so far I'm pretty happy with where I am. I'm definitely not I'm not day trading, I'm just in it for a long term. So I pick companies and people that I really believe in, that I believe in 10 years are really going to make a difference. So we'll see. I'll check back in with me in 2034.
I was thinking about your life and everything you've accomplished. What was little Lindsey Vonn like? How would you describe her?
I was a little bit of a terror. It was an adventure, and I was always climbing trees, and I was the oldest of 5 kids. So I was like the captain of the ship, and, we would do things together, and I choreographed dances.
You were on TikTok before it was a thing. You could have been huge.
I could have been huge. Yeah, I stole my dad's camera and I would do glamour shots. I was such a nerd. I had braces and a perm and bangs all at the same time.
Ooh.
So needless to say, I was very cool. And yeah, I kind of did my own thing.
And I was thinking about how important female relationships are. And I feel like you've cultivated so many in your life now. But growing up, did you have that, Lindsey? Because you were competing all the time, the pressure of your whole family moving for you. As a mother now, I was thinking about your story. That's a lot of pressure on a young girl.
It was definitely a lot of pressure. And I think that's why I've kept my circle of friends really small. It's just hard. It's a hard life to live, and it's hard to be my friend, honestly. I'm very annoying. I forget, birthdays, and I'm not great at calling. And my friends, my true friends really know that about me, and they pester me and they get in touch with me. I realize that it's not easy being my friend, but those are my true friends that would do anything for me. And I think that's important. You can have a lot of acquaintances and people that you like and you go to dinner with, but if something really happens, if you call them, are they really going to come? And those are the people that I want to be friends with.
So it's so important, especially as we get older, that women friendship. I don't know. I just noticed about you with Paris. I feel like you're starting to cultivate all of that. Another little silver lining. When did you know you were destined to be this world-class skier? Did you feel it from a young age?
I had this blind faith that I was going to somehow be a great skier. I wrote it in my elementary school project. Or like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, the greatest skier of all time. I was like 8 or 9 years old. I don't know where that came from. I practiced my signature a ton when I was a
Oh,
kid.
wait, how was it? Did you do the funny L, like a loop?
Yes. I eventually tweaked it over time, but
Was it a heart over the eye? Like, because you were so young.
I like to do the smiley face, and I do like to do a heart. If you get a book signed by me, it's probably got a heart on it. I wouldn't say I always knew I was destined to be a ski racer, but it's always what I wanted to do. That was always what I dreamed of doing. And I just put a lot of passion and hard work into making that dream come true.
Moving to Vail with your family at 12, what was that like? And now, a word from our sponsors. Have you heard of Olakai? When I kick off my ridiculous high heels for Access Hollywood, Olakai is my go-to footwear. I found them when I was searching for the best flip-flop that also gives me the greatest support for my high arches, which has been impossible for me to find until now. Olakai is a super cool brand known for their anywhere aloha spirit and Hawaiian roots. They make shoes for every type of occasion. And now this includes the most comfortable and stylish pickleball and golf shoes. Hello. My favorite part is that the heels naturally go down to make every one of their shoes a slide. How genius is that? I promise you will love anything you get from them. And for Coop listeners, free shipping on any order at olakai.com. That's OLUKAI.com. Use code COOP and get your Olakais delivered ASAP to enjoy the summer. Mahalo. Coop Chicks, I am so fired up. I have discovered the most fabulous new female-owned botanical skincare line out of Nashville, Tennessee called Imogene & Co. for company. Using skincare products from natural ingredients is more important to me than ever. And Dr. Allison Brennan, the founder of Imogene & Co., is a trained pharmacist and has formulated products that I have never experienced before. They smell amazing, and her products cleanse, nourish, and hydrate. I seriously have noticed an incredible difference in my skin since using Imogene & Co. I am currently obsessed with their Glow Vitamin C Serum. This is the most potent and natural vitamin C serum I've ever used. It helps build collagen and bye-bye crow's feet. Equally, I really love their Revitalize face oil. I slather it on to start and to end my day. Give Imogene & Co. a try. Go to imogeneandco.com. That's EMOGENEAND co.com and use Coop 20 for 20% off. Ladies, are you like me and have looked everywhere to find your favorite white tee and tank? Well, look no further. I have found them at Aaron Gray. This will be your new go-to favorite white t-shirt brand. Custom designed in my hometown of ATL, Atlanta, and made of pure Pima cotton from Peru. You will never take it off. This pre-wash and pre-shrunk material is exclusive only to Aaron Gray and no annoying tags. How great is that? I am so happy and I feel so good every time I put these on. I have finally found my go-to tee. Aaron Gray is 100% women-owned and operated and gives 10% of profits back to cancer research every year. Go to aarongraydesign.com. That's ERINGRAY design.com. Use code COOP20 for 20% off. And now, back to the Coop.
It was a lot. I started going out there when I was 10, 11 with just my mom. We went out for a couple months. My mom left the rest of the kids at home with my dad and my grandparents. And I just knew the weight of that. And my mom, it was hard on my mom. It was hard on my family. And then we eventually moved out there and it was like, oh, wow, okay, we're all moving here for me. And wow. I better make the Olympics. I better make this worth everything my family's sacrificing for me. And I knew, my siblings, I think they had a harder time with it than anyone, just adapting to a new school system. And, they were still like in elementary school, and it's a hard transition to make.
Oh, yeah.
And it was because of me, and I always felt guilty because of that. But they're always very supportive. My family always believed in me, and they made sacrifices so that I could be where I am.
How did you work through that? Because I've seen you on many red carpets with your sister, who is just adorable. Were you always close to all of them, or how did you get to that point?
Yeah, Karin is closer to age to me than the triplets. The triplets are 6 years younger than me, and Karin's 4. So Karin and I always had something special. And then the triplets, we've kind of like ebbed and flowed. I was traveling for most of their life, and so I didn't get kind of a lot of the time that I wish that I had with them.
Triplets. Let's discuss the biggest badass in your family.
My mother.
The real superstar, your mother. So did I read this right? She had a stroke when you were born.
Yes. She was in a coma in the hospital for 3 months after I was born. Yeah.
And then what happened next?
Yeah. And then she had 4 more kids.
And triplets. This woman is remarkable.
I know. She's seriously Wonder Woman. It took her 4 years. She needed a bit of a break, but she was still practicing law after her stroke and after having me. And then she had Karin. And then 2 years later, she had the triplets. And she was only given like a 50% chance of surviving the pregnancy with the triplets. And she's like, no, I really want to have these kids. And she did.
I see where you get your strength and your grit.
She was a very determined woman.
I cried the other morning with your post, Lindsey. I'm going to try to keep it together, but you put it to Enya. It's you winning the gold medal, but it's you writing about your mom. And I just, tell me about her. Tell me about your mom.
So my mom used to drive me from Minnesota to Colorado. It was 16, 17 hours. We did that so many times. And my mom had like 4 CDs that she listened to the whole time. And Enya was one of them. It was like, favorite album. And I knew her favorite song. And, it's kind of one of those things where, talk about perspective. I look back at what's happened in my life and the things that I've achieved. And so much of it is because of the support of my family and specifically my mother. And that's like one of the greatest memories I have is the Olympics. And it's so amazing that it's on film. I cross the finish line and then the camera pans directly to my mom and is like,
we're sobbing over in the coop.
Yeah,
and she's got her cowbell and you can feel that she's with you, Lindsey. I'm sorry if I'm in that phase where a lot of my friends are losing their parents and I'm super close to my mom. And I just thought about you in that moment and like, that's your person, right? That's your strength. You lost her in 2022. She said, talk to me as if I'm there. So when do you feel her the most?
All the time. There's certain things that she told me to look for. So I see her and I feel her all the time. And,
like, what did she say? My mom always says, look for the bird. She's like, she loves the red birds.
Yeah, she had a specific bird. And it's not a bird that you would see anywhere really. And I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. How am I going to find that bird, Mom? Like,
if it's a cuckoo bird, I found her. Her name is Kit.
And there's 2 months after she passed, there was this bird that she told me was going to be there. And it was like hovering over me and it just kept hovering. And I was like, oh my God. And it happens all the time. And I'm not as good at talking to her as she was to her mom. Like she lost her mom when she was 16. And so that's why she told me, she's like, I know what it feels like. And just talk to me. And I think I more do it in my head than I do out loud. My mom used to do it out loud, but I think everyone has their own way of processing. And I don't know. I know she's always there. I don't always feel like I need to talk to her because I feel like she's reading my mind in a weird way.
She's with you.
Yeah.
Lindsey, I can't believe you are her. Yeah. I can't believe that bird story. Here, I thought you were going to say you still haven't seen this bird.
No, all the time.
What were the other 3 CDs she had?
Well, I convinced her that Eminem was a poet.
He is.
Yes. And we had the Dixie Chicks. She loved the Dixie Chicks.
Oh, wide open spaces.
What was the other one? It was another one of those like classic rock bands that she loved. If you put it on, I would probably know every single word.
How have you learned to navigate the grief? I was just talking to Katie Couric about this, and she describes it as like losing a limb, but then you learn to walk with a prosthetic. So you keep walking, but you walk with a limp. Is that sort of how you would describe it? And they say, of course, it's the price of love is the grief. Have you learned any tools that we can share with our people? I'm a journeyman, Lindsey.
Yeah, no, totally. Someone said grief is like, you have a rock and it's heavy in your pocket, but soon you get stronger and you can carry the rock, without feeling it. You don't feel the weight of the rock anymore. And I guess I do feel like I'm stronger now and I can carry the weight of it. And I always think about her and I cry still a lot and spontaneously. And if I hear a sound or a smell or Enya, it's waterworks, but I do feel stronger and I feel like she is always there and gives me something that maybe I didn't have before. And I find a lot of peace in that. And I keep the perspective that my mom was really in pain and, it's better, she's in a better place. And that also gives me a lot of peace.
What did she visualize for these next chapter of your life?
I don't know. My mom doesn't think that way. She was always like in the moment and very happy and positive, and she sent positive quotes.
Did you have a family text?
Yeah, we had a family text.
What was the name of the family text?
I think it's the family report. She used to send every day, and then I think one of the siblings said she's getting annoying, so she backed up to like once a week. She's still on my phone, and I have everything there, and I can always go back to it. And she always had that positive outlook, even though her life was not looking positive. Every day she said, today is another great day. That was her thing.
That's you, Lindsey. When I was preparing to talk to you, I was looking with my producer and we're going through everything you've won, which, by the way, is just unbelievable. We're going to have to read down that list. But then also all your injuries that you've overcome. And I said to my producer, this cannot be accurate. Could you rattle off all the injuries that you've had? Can you name them?
2 ACLs, MCL, LCL, meniscus, cartilage, tibial plateau. I've sliced my finger, not a skiing accident. I had a spiral fracture of my humerus. I have a plate and 18 screws in that right arm. I broke my ankle, my wrist, 2 fingers, concussions, and now I have a knee replacement.
I mean, are you human? Okay, so much to unpack here before we get to all the accolades. But for the injuries, Lindsey, what is the mindset? How have you been able to overcome all of these and heal? What's the secret to doing that?
It's my mom's perspective. I realized that I had the opportunity to have surgery, to do my rehab, to work hard, and I can get back to doing what I love to do, which is skiing and going fast and being a crazy person. But my mom didn't have that opportunity. She had a stroke and she was physically disabled and she couldn't do all the things that she wanted to do, not for lack of trying, even though everyone told her she couldn't do things. She always tried. I had an opportunity, and how can I be negative and how can I let an opportunity go? Because why?
Wow.
I have the opportunity. I have to take it, and I owe that to my mother, for going through what she went through, having me, and I owe it to her now, and I owe it to myself to give always my best shot because, again, ski racing is my passion. It's what I love to do. There's nothing else I would rather be doing than going 85 miles an hour down an icy mountain, which seems crazy, but to me, that's like my happy place. So that's how I got through my injuries. Like, I have a perspective that I am lucky to be injured and have surgery and come back. I'm lucky to be able to do that. And that's what gets me up every morning. Like, I'm happy I get to try.
When you were saying there's nothing you love more than Mach 10 down the mountain, I remember one of the first times I interviewed you, and I'm sure you've been asked this 1,000 times, but I'm like, what are you thinking about? And you're like, Kit, if you're thinking about something, then you're in the wrong sport. So has there ever been a time, though, when something would creep in your mind and then you clearly didn't have the best race? Like, I don't know mentally if I would, I don't know, I'm just so ADD. I'd be like, oh, squirrel, or what's going on, or how's mom?
I mean, in training, that definitely happens. I'm like, ooh, there's a little scratch on my goggle lens. Or like, I have an eyelash in my eye. Maybe I should pull over and stop. But generally, like in a race, if to the point that you already made, if you're thinking about something other than what you're doing right at that moment, you're probably in trouble. So no, it's never really happened at a race. Although I will say in the starting gate, I have been like, crap, I have to pee.
I have to pee. That would be my thing. As soon as I'm all zipped up and I'd be like, I always have to pee. That would so be me.
It's a constant. That was definitely an issue for me.
You're always raising the bar. What did I just see you were doing at night on the men's course that was a bucket list item for you?
Yes, I was skiing down Kitzbühel, which is the hardest men's downhill in the world. That was insane. I probably one of the craziest things I've ever done. Was 23, but they called me in like after Thanksgiving and said, "Hey, in January, do you want to run Kitzbühel at night?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And I was like, wait, I only have 6 weeks to get ready, and I haven't skied downhill since the day I retired, which was 4 years ago. And what am I going to do? I don't have any skis. I'm not strong. And I was like, I'll figure it out. Let's do it. It was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. I'd always wanted to race against the men and to race on some of the men's tracks, and I never got the opportunity. They wouldn't let me. And so again, I thought this was an amazing opportunity, and no one had ever done it before. So I figured, why not be the first?
Did you go men's skis or women's skis?
Of course I went on men's skis.
Hell yeah. What would your mom have said about that?
She would have been really proud. I know she would have been. And she's a risk taker in like the way she thinks about things. And again, she's like so positive. That's why I cried actually when I crossed the finish line, because it was just, I was like, Mom would have been so proud of me.
Oh. And now a word from our sponsors. Hello, Coop listeners. This episode of The Coop is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy app. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. I got to tell you, there have been big moments in my life where therapy was really essential in my growth. And what's amazing about BetterHelp is that it's entirely online and designed to be convenient and flexible to suit your schedule. We've all got crazy schedules with work, kids, life, etc. Wouldn't it be amazing to get your therapy when you want it without ever leaving your house? These are licensed therapists, and all you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with the right therapist. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/thecoop and get on your way to being your best self. All Coop listeners will get 10% off their first month. Again, it's betterhelp.com/thecoop, betterhelp.com/thecoop, THECOOP. Here's to BetterHelp. Hey everyone, I'm a jeans girl, and if you're like me, you need to know about Blue Delta jeans. Blue Deltas are custom fit for your body type. You send in your measurements and they custom fit them to you. I've truly never had jeans that fit me this perfectly, and honestly, it's been a game changer. Their easy measurement process to get your custom fit and their unique hand-sewn jeans are the best you can get. You will not believe how great they feel. Blue Delta jeans should be your go-to. I'm completely obsessed with their incredible custom vintage jeans that come in straight and flare styles. Trust me, you will live in them. Go to bluedeltajeans.com and enter the code COOP20 for 20% off your new perfect jeans. And now, back to the Coop. Another reason, Lindsey, I couldn't wait to talk to you today is so many people in their life are at that turning point in their life, right? Where it's a big pivot. There's a moment where everything's changing. You have done a massive 180 at what you knew, what your life was, what your mission was, what your training, and you've retired. How have you made that turn? What has retirement felt like to you?
Retirement's been really hard. I feel like I'm still adapting. I feel like it's not one big pivot, but many pivots. Trying to find like a footing that I can, push off of that's meaningful. I feel like my foundation is giving me a lot of purpose, and helping kids really gives me a lot of joy. But the risk of skiing is just not in anything that I do. And so no matter how many times I pivot, it's just not pivoting to something that's like getting me going as much as ski racing. I think I'm always just trying to challenge myself in different ways, mentally, physically, trying to be adventurous still. I don't feel my age. I still feel like I have a lot of crazy things that need to be tried in my life.
Like what? Give me some crazy. What itch needs to be scratched?
I mean, just adrenaline. Like I need some adrenaline. I always need it. And I've just been trying other sports, but I'm saving skydiving for when I really need some
I
adrenaline. Like
hated
that's
it.
like my
I hated
reserve.
it.
That's my emergency
Oh,
ripcord is okay, we're going
so
skydiving.
you've never done it. It's on your
I've
list.
never. I've done bungee jumping on the Nevis in New Zealand, which is the highest in the world. But
And did you like it?
honestly, I feel like that was too close to the ground.
What if that cord doesn't?
Skydiving would be better.
I hated skydiving.
You're so far away from the ground that you're basically, like you're jumping and it doesn't feel like you could go splat like right away.
Ooh.
Whereas in bungee jumping, I feel like
Yeah.
you see the ground so quickly that, it's just your life flashes before your eyes.
No one told me. I did it when I did Road Rules for MTV, and there's a guy on your back, which is a whole nother story, but you can't breathe, Lindsey. You go out and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. And it's like you're flipping around, and I just wanted to be on the ground. You'll report back to me. It was not my thing.
I want to try those,
Yeah.
like wind tunnels where you kind of float in a tube. So it's like you practice for skydiving. So then I feel like I could do more tricks and like it wouldn't maybe be as scary.
You're such a renegade. I love it. That's why Red Bull endorses you.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of your mentors. You've had some great ones in your life. I love finding out The Rock is a huge mentor. I love that you said you call him for everything. So what do you call The Rock for?
I mean, honestly, he calls me a lot.
Does he FaceTime or just call?
Well, he'll do the audio notes and then he'll send a video.
This is unbelievable.
Like when my dog died, he called me and he sent me a video, and like my mom and like kind of all the important things in life, he's always like reached out, and that's been really meaningful for me. And, through some of the decision making and things that I've had to do personally in my life, he's always been someone that I can talk to and lean on, which wouldn't be, maybe the first person that I should have called, but he somehow seemed like the right person. And I've gone on set with him and picked his brain and how much do you sleep and what do you eat and what's the process? And he's always wanted to help me. And that's rare.
What advice does he give you on like this next chapter? Because he had that huge turn from wrestler seen one way to movie star. So any advice on that?
Well, the reason why I was on set, because I was thinking about, do I get into acting?
Yes.
So I was just trying to see if that was, a potential route. In the end, it's really time consuming.
Yeah.
All those movies and TV shows, as you know, they take a lot of time. And
yes, it's hurry up and wait. And I'm not cut out for that. I lose steam. I got to be the 3, 2, 1, and I'm on the tightrope. So you just need to get back into live TV.
I did really enjoy doing your show and being on Today's Show.
Yes.
Live TV stuff it's close to public speaking. I like the pressure of it. You have to perform on the spot.
Yep.
There's no do-overs. Anytime they say, okay, we can have a couple of takes, I always blow it.
Dude, you had me at the first. We're so similar that way. Is there anybody else in your life like that has showed up for you that I would be surprised to know about?
Yeah, a lot of women actually. In the last few years, I've gotten to know a lot of amazing women like Whitney Wolfe Herd and Amy Griffin, and they're just really strong women that are so smart and caring and giving. I always felt like in sports, women were so competitive with each other that I never really felt supported. And I thought it was going to be the same in business, but not with the people that I've met.
I love hearing this. Yes.
Yeah. So I've been lucky to have those types of people be mentors to me and really good friends.
There's little silver linings. All right, let's play a little game, Lindsey. Let's get random. Are you ready, my adrenaline junkie?
This is scary. Okay.
Favorite curse word?
F.
How often do you use it, or when's the last time?
A lot.
I know.
It's really hard not to say it during interviews. I just go with that. I'm an athlete. I'm sorry. I can't help myself.
Oh, I love this one. Favorite body part? Mine is my ankles. I love my ankles.
Really?
Yeah, they're just
That's
something about
cool.
them.
I have bad ankles. I don't know.
What do you mean? You give great ankle.
From ski boots. They're not the best. No. Probably my bum because it's strong, and it's probably, I like my legs, but I've got so many scars that they don't quite look the same as they used to. So
You do have a great ass. When I was on sitting on you and you're doing your planks, it's such a good bubble. And you were doing a workout this morning, and I was like,
oh
damn, that
God.
ass. Okay, for our viewers and listeners, whoever's doing what could normal women do to kind of get that ass in your core? Because it is all about, as we age, our core. Give us something we can do.
Honestly, it's like high repetition. You can do body squats with like a leg kick out. It's the glute med that needs to be strong. That's what gives you like the shape on the top. So anything where your leg is kind of going out at like a 60-degree angle to the side, like that's going to give you some good glute med work.
Glute med. Okay, write that down, Harper. We're going to fucking glute med it. When you see me next time, Lindsey, you're going to say, oh my
Do
God.
some clams. Do some banded clam shells.
Band clams. Oh my God, I'm going to rock it.
Okay.
What scares you?
Really gross insects like centipedes, and I'm not down for centipedes.
Really? Are you scared of spiders?
It's not so much a spider. It's like, I don't know, it's just the legs. Like it's just unnecessary. Like those bugs are just just totally unnecessary. And it's not like I'm scared. I don't want them around.
You just don't want them around.
Why? I want them. No one wants them.
No.
Like going to Australia seems like everything wants to kill you. And I see so many Instagram videos. I think Instagram knows that I don't like these insects, and it constantly gives me a feed of all of the crazy shit that lives in Australia. And I don't know if I want to go there again.
That video, have you ever seen of the man boxing the kangaroo? Have you seen that one, Lindsey? You would take that thing
with
up.
a snake coming out of the ceiling, though. That's
Snakes
disgusting.
scare me. I can't do them, Lindsey. The way the tongue, and they just want to eat me, and not for me. What is in your bedside drawer? If y'all couldn't see Lindsey's face right now, it was great. Something good.
Besides my sleeping medication and my candles,
Good.
We're not going inside the drawer.
No.
The drawer is.
True or false? You're bad at every sport but skiing. I find that very hard to believe.
I'm really not great at it.
What are you talking about? You're so athletic. How are you not great at all these other sports?
Well, okay. So tennis, I feel like I'm half decent at. I wouldn't say decent, but half decent. Basketball, utterly horrible. Soccer, horrendous.
What?
Like anytime you put a ball like that, it just adds something that I can't. It's not that I'm not coordinated. I'm coordinated, but am I good at it?
I will determine that when we play a little tennis, a little pickleball. We're going to go out. We're going to check it out.
No, we're just going to go straight tennis. It's going to mess up my tennis game if we play pickleball.
Okay. We'll stick to tennis. Do you have a nickname? What do your friends call you, or do you have a childhood nickname?
My old coach used to call me, he's Austrian, and he used to call me Lindsey Torte.
Is it true you had a coach that called you Turtle? Was that a joke because you're so fast?
That was the same coach.
Oh,
that was the same
so did that just get
coach.
shortened to Turtle?
No, he just thought I was slow and called me Turtle.
You're the
Lindsey
fastest
Torte
skier
is
in the
a
world.
fake. It's two different things. We're like the first phase where he thought I was a turtle, and the second phase where he called me Lindsey Torte and liked me a lot.
Your body is such a specimen, but I'm curious for you, when you look in the mirror, what do you see?
Different things. Most of the time, see what my body's done for me. You know, I've done a lot of things in my life, and that's due to my body, and the scars are just a representation of my will and hard work.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it fluctuates. Sometimes I'm like, damn it, what's wrong with you? You know, just be good. Do what I say. And sometimes it's different. So it just depends on the day. But since my replacement, I've been pretty happy with my body lately.
Fill in this blank, Lindsey. Aging is what?
All on your mind, baby.
Yes, really is. Perspective.
All on your mind.
Final question, Lindsey, and thank you for your time. What makes you happy?
Living, honestly. Life makes me happy. Every day is a new experience. Every day is a new adventure. I'm lucky to be here. So that's what makes me happy. Getting the opportunity to live.
Well, you've already accomplished so much, of course, but honestly, you haven't even hit your stride for what's next. Give Leo a big kiss from me. And thanks for coming on and chatting, my love. And thanks for letting me ride your back.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks, sweets. Whew, let me bring in my producer, Harper McDonald, Lindsey Vonn. Wow, that turned out kind of like a love letter to her mom.
It
I thought
really
that was
did.
so beautiful.
I know. And it's incredible. As much as we all know about Lindsey Vonn, and everybody knows who Lindsey Vonn is, to hear her talk about her mom and what an unbelievable influence, not only that she was when she was a child, but to hear how her mom's perspective on life continues to be her thread.
Her
right?
thread through everything, and really give Lindsey that grit and toughness when she says pressure is a privilege.
Mhm.
That all comes from her mom and the watching way she lived her life. What about when I asked her, Lindsey, what did your mom see for your life? She said she didn't live like that.
Mm-mm.
She lived in the moment,
Mhm.
grateful for every breath and for where she was then. Unbelievable.
And what Lindsey said at the end when you said what makes her happy is the opportunity to live.
To
I mean,
live.
she's embodied gratitude in a way. Listen, a lot of these incredible women we've had on the podcast do this. But when you sort of hear it so rooted in the woman who raised her and have given her the perspective on how lucky she is to not only have been injured,
Yeah.
go through surgeries, to recover, go through physical therapy, to get strong again, to get back to the thing that she loved, and that she's sort of privileged to be able to have been injured as many times as she
How about all those injuries, y'all?
Oh my
That is, I
God.
get a hangnail and I'm a baby over
Holy
here.
moly.
And to your point, she feels gratitude for the healing,
Yep.
that she can heal her
Yep.
body. And then you and I could not wait to hear, for somebody like Lindsey, who is an adrenaline chaser,
Mhm.
how do you fill that void? Like, what will retirement look like for you?
Well, it was interesting. The quote that she said, or what she sort of to paraphrase, is that retirement's been hard.
Yeah,
right.
I get it.
It's hard to. How does she find and chase the thing that has literally fed her mind, body, and soul, and adrenaline all this time? But the interesting thing that I feel like for a lot of women in this chapter in life, when they're sort of going from one thing to another, is a pivot. And what she said was, it's not a big pivot for her. It's a bunch of small pivots, right? And something along the lines of trying to find footing towards something that feels meaningful. So it's I could visualize
I can
it.
visualize and getting the footing for the push off.
Yes.
Here's one thing
yes.
we know: whatever she does, it's going to be good.
And it's going to be fast.
And it's going to be fast. It's going to be really fast. And we
Yeah.
want to give a shout out to Leo.
Yes, sweet Leo.
Sweet
well,
Leo.
it sounds like he's making his way.
He's on the mend. He's
and they're
on the
and
mend.
they're doing it together. I mean, you and I are both total pet lovers
people.
and dog lovers and cat lovers and lots of animals. But Leo, we love you. We're sending you all of our love and prayers,
We
buddy.
really are. And also, while we're on the
So
animal thing,
cute.
what about the bird? The
Oh my
bird story
God.
with her mom. What bird is it? I felt it was disrespectful to ask what kind of bird. I thought that was the most beautiful story. She said she sees them all the time now.
All the time. And I also love, sorry, the last point on that is I loved her mom's advice is just talk to me.
Talk to
Talk to me like I'm there. And her mother, so her grandmother gave that advice to her mom.
Yeah.
And so that's a really beautiful sentiment to pass through the generations of just talk to me like I'm there. I just got the chills. That really sat with me too. And she's done it in her own way, right?
Yep.
She talks
internally
in her head.
in her head,
Yes.
which was,
Yeah.
well, we hope y'all loved that episode as much as
Lindsey.
we did. Thank you so much, Lindsey Vonn. We will see you soon. Thank you for joining us, my chickens. If you like this episode, please give us a 5-star rating, drop in a great review, and tag us at The Coop with Kit Hoover. As well, you can follow us on social media at The Coop with Kit Hoover for behind-the-scenes content and updates. We will see you next time in The Coop. And remember, as my mom Bug always says, life is not a dress rehearsal. Make it count. Today's episode was produced by me, Kit Hoover, and Harper McDonald. Our technical producer is Christian Brown, and today's episode was edited by Christian Brown. Business development by Casey Ladd, and a special thank you to all of our sponsors.